More Klim gear just showed up, and I've been waiting for the new Havoc GTX boot, and I think it's here. Klim's back at it again with more industry firsts and incredible products. So today we're looking at the new Havoc GTX SnowBike specific boot. But have no fear, sledders, because I think this might be an amazing snowmobile boot as well. I'm so confident in it that I got 2 pairs, and I ride my snowmobile about 3 times as much as I ride my snowbike. So I'm going to be riding these on my snowmobile a lot this year and testing them out to see if they are a snowmobile worthy boot. That says Havoc boot. You can't read it though. What would make sense is almost a moto style boot, because what we're doing out there is really, you know, moto style riding a lot of the times. And with the growth of the snowbike in the last few years, their demand for a boot that is specific to snowbikers has gone up, because I've seen guys out there in moto boots in the heart of winter so they can shift and get that feel properly. Klim has done it with the Havoc GTX with the idea of snowbikers in mind. Now, I believe the most popular snowmobile boot is the Adrenaline from Klim. So they have a few different models of this boot. They have a BOA, they have a standard lace boot, and this has been the go-to boot for myself for the last few years. So this is the Adrenaline GTX BOA boot that has been redesigned for this year, and I'm doing a video on it shortly to talk about its update. That's been the staple. It's a great boot. The issues that I have with that boot are it's not as stiff. I like that stiffer feeling boot, a little bit better ankle support, so I'm hoping, and I really do think, that this new Havoc is going to be the ticket. So let's get into it. Gotta hydrate first. Hey, be sure to subscribe. I'm dropping videos all the time. Tell your friends. So the boot comes in 2 colorways, a black and a white and red, and I bought both, you know, just for grins. I have a rule about white shoes though. They're supposed to only be used for golfers. So if you're a golfer, you can wear white shoes golfing, and tennis, you could wear white shoes there, but no other time should white shoes be worn. But these boots, the white and reds, are so cool that I had to get them. So right out of this box, this boot has a ton of Moto DNA. Very simple design on the outside with one standard BOA on the back, which is cool because we talk a lot about durability and things that you don't want to fail, and a BOA system is something that when it fails you can't tighten your boot. So with it being on the front and the side like in the Adrenaline, very rarely, but it has happened, I've broken off the clickers on the Adrenaline. So with it being on the back here, that's kind of the place where it's least prone to get broken off, because when you ride wrong foot forward, the outside of the boot is right against the tunnel, so it kind of has that you know, that chance of getting ripped off or broken in some way. So protected back there. One system, the BOA system, which is tried and true. I don't use anything other than a BOA system. So click that, bring that guy to tighten it and loosen it. And then kind of coming from the top down on this boot, we have the Moto style upper. This boot is quite a bit taller than the Adrenaline. So let me grab the Adrenaline. These are both size 12, so these are the same size, and you can see, man, a couple inches higher this boot will sit up around your calf. And for the knee brace, knee pad guys, with that kind of go down into your shins, this is going to be awesome because it's going to help hold your knee brace up in place. It's not going to let it slide down. For my Mobius braces that I run, I actually have about an inch gap between my brace and my boot, so sometimes you can catch a shin on a running board right there, but with this added height, your brace should either slide into or sit right on top of the Havoc boot. So moving our way down, like I said, we have our Moto style upper, kind of gusseted with a big Velcro opening here, a little bit of shin protection, which is always great, and with that BOA and upper, this boot really opens up nicely to give you an easy entry and exit on this thing. So that's really nice. Then we have kind of one big strap around here, and you can see all of our BOA cable on the side that is going to hold everything snug. Working our way down, we have our Klim D-ring for holding our gaiters down on our pants, and then the toe box in this is actually quite a bit smaller than the Adrenaline, so you know, we can actually shift our snow bikes and feel a little bit more comfortable than just wearing those big boots. I think a lot of guys will be happier with the feel for shifting in these boots opposed to their Adrenalines. So Klim has a Michelin sole on this boot, which is really cool, coming up with a rubber that is nice and tacky but won't deteriorate fast and all this kind of stuff. So they've partnered up with Michelin to try to, you know, create the perfect rubber sole for, you know, what the demands that we need out of them. So I'm really excited to test this one out. And, you know, talking about soles, the Adrenaline, I've had a lot of guys say that they tear up soles really fast, and part of that is the Polaris running boards. They are so aggressive that, you know, you really can't do anything about it. And if you go with a harder rubber compound, then it's actually not going to be as tacky. And obviously if you go with a tackier rubber compound, it rips off easier and chunks out. So finding that middle ground is hard, and it's just one of those things that if you want good traction in a snowmobile boot, you have to sacrifice boots, you know, over time. One thing that I was curious about this boot, it was the actual footprint. So I like to have a very big footprint on the snow. This is an old Chris Bryant mindset, is the bigger footprint you can have on the snow, the better. I mean, that guy's got like size 13 shoes. I think he wears like a 15 with like 4 pairs of socks. The bigger footprint you have on your boot, the better it's going to hold in snow when we're riding. And, you know, we don't want to post hole and go all the way through the snow. We almost want kind of a snowshoe effect with our boots. So the one thing that I was worried about with this boot was the actual size. You know, since it's going to be kind of a moto boot, I was worried it was going to be a little bit smaller around the foot, and the footprint was going to be smaller. When we look at it against the Adrenaline, it's actually the exact same size. So the width is exactly the same. If anything, this Havoc will be a little bit wider, but the same length, might be a little bit wider, like we're talking an 1/8 inch wider in certain spots, but almost identical footprint, which is great. Appears to be very durable right off the bat, and I'm excited to test that stuff out. You know, we have added durability around the toe here, and then also around the heel. Inside, we have traction on the inside for gripping your bike or sled, so that kind of helps there. And then leather all the way up the side for that protection, you know, against exhaust and tunnel. We want that to be really durable up all the way up, and a nice smooth thing. Nothing to really be broken, ripped off, or damaged on this side. So really high quality, and yeah, let's put this thing on. So here we go, boots on. Giving you also a look at the black and white version of the Havoc boot right here. As you can see, I've got one black on and one white. The great part that I'm seeing right off the bat is my Mobius knee brace is actually right at the level of the boot. So now I truly have protection from boot all the way to over my knee, and I can also feel that this will help keep my knee brace in place, allowing it not to slide down because the boot is there to help hold it up. Really comfortable right off the bat, and this BOA system really allows you to crank on it as you move your foot, so you can get these boots really tight. They do have great movement forward and back, but the side-to-side stability in these boots right off the bat is really amazing. And, you know, of course they'll break in like all boots do, but really pleased with how they feel, stability side to side, and still some good flexibility back and forth. So that's the black boot for you guys. Right now I'm wearing my Storm bibs, so you can see they have lots of room still. They don't fit very tight inside the Storm bib, but as we unzip this and look at our gaiter, still has a nice snug fit around our gaiter. Definitely not going to let any snow in there. And like I pointed out in videos past, utilizing that D-ring right there. So fits super nice. And yeah, there's the white one. A little modeling. And then to get out of them, just a simple pop that. Open nice and big, and you're out of it. So when you look at this boot, it does appear to be kind of a different styled snowmobile boot, but the three major things that this boot has that other boots don't have is the smaller toe box that is going to be optimized for shiftings for those snowbike guys out there. Added height as well, giving it that more moto style feel. I love the fact that it's going to give me total protection from my foot all the way to above my knee now that my knee brace and boot meet there in a nice juncture, and it has that closure system that moto boots have to accommodate a knee brace and a true knee pad. So finally is that lateral stiffness side to side. It does have a lot more stiffness right off the bat than, you know, most of these snowmobile boots, which especially for guys that are really aggressive, jumping, you know, jumping side to side on sleds, riding wrong foot forward. You really want to have a strong place where you can just set your foot in and go, and you're not worried about rolling an ankle. So let's go through a few specs on it so you guys know the nitty gritty on this boot. So in Klim's description of this boot on the website, it says a high performance package for snowbike specific use. So basically a snowbike boot, and then also a crossover boot for the most destructive snowmobilers. I'm one of the most destructive snowmobilers. So specs on the new Havoc. As always, gore-tex waterproofing material in all of the Klim products. Same it goes for the Havoc boot, an absolute must when you're in the backcountry. 600 grams of thin slate insulation, which is the exact same as the Adrenaline Pro GTX boot. So I don't really know how to quantify or explain insulating in boots just because it's kind of a feel thing. But if you've worn the Adrenalines, this has the exact same amount of insulation in it, so layer accordingly. The redefined toe box, so smaller toe box for shifting purposes, integrated flex zones, Achilles flex zones, calf flex zones in this boot to give you that optimized comfort. The Michelin sole, of course, designed specific for power sports, and then the BOA closure system that we all know and love so much. Like for me, I will not tie another pair of snowmobile boots. I'll only run BOAs just because you can get them that much tighter and they stay tight all day long. So those are just a few of the specs on this boot. Amazing boot, really excited to go put it through the test. And if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. I'll gladly answer them. Connect with me on social, and in the description below as well, go check this boot out at Klim. You can shop it. I've got all the links below. We'll see you guys out on the snow.